This is just a quick live. Um, DC is gone to be with her mom and her sister hanging out today. I am here by myself. So I decided to jump on, do a really quick live with you guys. You know, hey y'all. And we were got something to talk about. That's why it's gonna be quick because it's kind of just one subject. Hey Nina, hey, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and as the clock ticks, and the clocks are ticking, and the days are moving, kids are going back to school, trying to get life back together, and life is saying nope, nope, nope. I'm still messing with you. All right, so what I'm talking about today is I'm focusing on the specific, but this is a bigger problem across the board. Hey, Pat, across the board, across America, in our community, this is a huge problem. Um, I don't really know how many days ago this happened, but Saeed, I think her name is Saida. I don't want to mess her name up. Yeah, that's her name. And Saisha. I'm sorry. Her name is Aisha Mercado. Hey, Timmy, I still kind of do. But, the thing about it is, this is what it is. YouTube is what it is. And I got to be on camera. So, see, what had happened was I heard about the Saisha Mercado thing. And I really didn't think anything of it because I was assuming that they would, check the child, do their due diligence, and give the children back. However, when I went more in depth, I realized that her first child was taken when the child was a year old, and she was pregnant with the one they just took recently. She took the child to the ER so it could get fluids because it was not taking fluids correctly. Or it was hold on, let me um let me pull up something so I don't want to misquote or say anything incorrect. Just for, this is this girl's life. This is her life, this is her children, and for anybody that has kids, you understand that your life is irrelevant. Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you, Asia. Everybody smash that like button. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? This is Tuesday. And I'm having kind of a I'm not having I'm having a day. So I thought I would come on here with the bomb squad and we would talk about stuff and then there you go. Alright, so she lost custody of her children. What got me was is so 5 months ago her 18-month-old son was taken after a routine hospital visit. Now here's the jam. Here's the first thing. And let me say this before I get into why this is a problem, and this is a problem that we need to focus on at some point. Her baby was, if this is correct, and they took the first child 5 months ago, her child was 13 months old. And she was still breastfeeding her 13-month-old. And from what I understand, this is what it said. This is what is reporting that was said. On March 11th, her son, Amun Ra, was forcefully and legally kidnapped by CPS, who claimed we refused the B12 shot that was a matter of life and death. That is an absolute lie. We never refused the shot, and at no point was our son on the verge of death. So it was saying that because her milk was drying up, she was pregnant because her milk was drying up, the baby was not taking fluids or something, which I didn't really understand. See, I'm going to talk about what she did wrong, and then I'm going to talk about why everything else is wrong. I understand. I was telling baby about it I think it was last night. I understand that we all have our paths to go down. I understand us wanting to connect with our ancestral heritage and everything. But at some point, your child is 13 months old, and because your milk is drying up, how and it's having a hard time taking solid food. When did you start giving your baby solid food? We have, baby, we have got to understand that the things of our ancestors and our history are not the things of our present and future life. They are the That is the blueprint of how we live. That is the blueprint of our ancestors and the blueprint of our heritage. But that is not what happens. Every year, every era, every generation changes. It morphs, it grows, and we adapt. I don't understand taking stuff back to a time where people wish they had what we have now. I understand. Hey, Magdalene, I understand the whole nature thing. I get that. I get. I'm a little closer to that side, but I also understand that if I'm not producing enough milk, I will find something else for my son to drink. If I'm not, if I know that I need to start giving him solid foods at a certain time, so as he grows, his body can adapt and handle them. Come on, guys. We got to make it better for the babies. That's all I want to say on that, because I'm trying to go with her that she said her son wasn't malnourished and on the edge of death, but you had to take your baby to the ER for fluids simply because your breast milk was drying up and he didn't wasn't taking solid foods correctly. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Does anybody? Maybe it's just me. Maybe because I'm old school, and we were fed regular milk and table food. Not much after long after we came out, squishing up eggs and eating mashed potatoes at 6 months and baby food. You know what I'm saying? So I came from a time of that, and I was raised by my grandmother. And Nick, when my milk started was not enough, I made sure that I had supplements for him so that I wouldn't have to worry about his health in that manner. I did everything I could before I took him to a hospital. And I never really had to take him to the hospital for anything. No broken bones, no he yeah. 16 and the worst thing I think I've taken him to the hospital for to it wasn't even the hospital. It took him to the urgent care because he had a little upper respiratory infection, and that was a couple years ago. So, but I had to say that because young ladies, young moms, and dads coming up, understand we want to connect with what once was, but you have to know how to add what once was to what is now. That being said, took the baby. Baby was in the hospital. CPS took the baby out of the hospital, did not inform the parents, and then let them know that the baby was being taken because they refused life-saving treatment and the child was on the verge of death. Okay. But why didn't something... Here's my thing. To let you know that what that baby said was true, that they're lying, is if that baby was on the verge of death, they would have called them that night. That is what anybody in the medical field on in the chat? Yes. I put cereal. When Nick was born, he was 8 pounds 8 ounces. When he went to his first checkup, he was 11 pounds and some ounces. He lost not an ounce. A lot of kids lose a little weight, not a lot of weight lost, none actually gained. My doctor, his pediatrician told me, baby, put a little cereal in his milk, and he'll sleep through the night. I did. I was gonna do that anyway, and Nick slept through the night. He's always slept through the night. Um, but that's just old school. That's not ancestral old school. That's just southern old school. A little different. However, my problem comes in, it's almost as though they're targeting this baby because, one, if there was such an issue that the child had to be taken from the parents because it was a life or death situation, why weren't the police called that night when they brought their child into the ER? Why didn't they call a grandparent or a relative? Why didn't they do their due diligence in the family instead of putting the child in the foster care system at 13 months old? Why would you do that? Why would you put the child in the foster care system when there's a perfectly good family that is willing to take the children until you investigate? And really what this should be an investigation. This should not be I'm snatching the kids. So the child was dehydrated. And let me tell you something. The reality is that kids sometimes don't eat. Sometimes don't want to drink. They just don't. They won't eat it, and you can't make them eat it. So I understand her taking her baby to the doctor because her child was not eating the way it should to get all the nutrients. I understand the necessity of breastfeeding because Nick wanted a sick baby. I made sure I breastfed long enough to get him all the extra nutrients and his mama's old ass immune system in him. He was not a sick baby. But I stopped. And I don't know what's an appropriate time to stop breastfeeding. I know how I feel about it, but that's my personal opinion. That is not, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer or Indian chief, just my personal opinion that you should not go much into the toddler years still breastfeeding a child. That's my personal opinion. At 13 months old, your baby should be drinking and eating thing. And you know what I'm saying? Should be. Now, if you don't want them to, that's on you. And if you don't want to do it, that's also on you. I can't make you do anything to your children. However, if it gets to the point where you have to take your baby to the hospital, you may have to rethink what you're doing. But my problem is not with this baby. My problem is not with her partner or her children. My problem was the system in Florida that took both of her children. You took the first one without any investigation, without contacting the parents, making up stuff. And then you take the second one because she didn't alert CPS that she'd had the second child because she was pregnant with the second one when they took the first one in. I have issue with here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and again, my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion. This is not a fact. This is not anything. This is my personal, what I think, opinion. So don't come in. So I don't want nobody coming back later after you watched it and went, oh, I'm not spouting facts. I'm not spouting any statistics. I am spouting Lisa. Period. Hey, baby. So this is Lisa. Period. And since children should be in school in most places, I'm going to say it the way I want to. I understand the bond between mother and child. You know I do. I understand wanting to give your child the best that you can, which is breast milk. In most cases, some cases it's not. Some cases women can't produce breast milk. They don't produce enough. It doesn't have the nutrients. It just depends. It's all personal choice. These are all personal choices. However, and I hate making things sexualized, but at some point they are. You cannot, if your child is getting ready to go to kindergarten or pre-K or daycare, you cannot keep. Oh, when she talked about it last night, we were talking about it last night. I said something, at our core, humans are animals. We have a prime directive, But we have the difference between us and animals is our ability to have free will, know right from wrong, and not do things just because we feel like it. Now, some of us have not quite mastered that. We're not. But at our core, that's what we are. We're born, we wean, drink the milk, we grow up, we get weaned off the milk, and we go about our lives. Eat, drink, be merry. That's just it. There is no there's no year-old dog still drinking milk out of his mama's titty. There's no cow still going back to its mama. There's no animal that still drinks milk, drinking the milk after they have reached a certain age. Because there's a process. And stop messing with the process because you don't want to lose that closeness to your child. Or because you think that stop get when your children are able to understand the difference, when your children are able to go and tell their friends that lunch was mama's titties, please stop. Stop. You are not helping these kids out. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You this is my opinion. When your children can articulate things and they know I'm I guess I'm trying to be not necessarily a little politically correct, but I'm trying not to say it the way I want. Let these babies grow up. Get your titty out their mouth. Let them drink, eat, and be married with their other friends. They gotta stop what they doing and come to you to get lunch, milk, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop that. Stop. After a certain age, you do not need mother's breast milk. That is why it dries up. It doesn't dry up in everybody. There are a few cases where women can produce, can lactate for a long time. But for the most part, it dries up. Stop doing it. It holds no extra benefit other than a figurative one, not a literal one. That closeness, that bond you feel with your child when they're doing that. And you can sit up there and spout all the fake facts you want to. The reality is that it just doesn't. It doesn't. It don't. Are you eat? And here's my question: are you eating and drinking specifically things that will benefit your child when your child is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old? Are you doing anything? Are you keeping your health up? Are you not taking medicines? Here's the thing: what you eat, what you consume into your body comes out in your breast milk. So to everybody who's out there slapping your titty in your baby mouth at 5 years old, are you drinking wine? Are you smoking cigarettes? Or do you have to take medicine every day? Are you eating healthy? Are you making sure that the nutrients you're giving your baby are the right, are good nutrients? Because when you're pregnant, your body sets you up for success. It makes you crave more. That's why you have cravings. Your body is, even though it will fail you at some point, it is set up for success for certain things. Childbirth is one of them. Women are made to have them, and it just does. But at some point, when mama snap back, so should your baby. And I just said all that. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. That was just my personal opinion. Um, I don't understand how the state of Florida is allowing. I lied. I said I don't understand how the state of Florida. The state of Florida allows a lot of. We thought Texas was bad, but Florida, baby. They took the first baby out of the hospital. She was driving. They pulled them over on the side of the road because she had the second baby and had notified CPS. All right, so here we go. All right. All right. The couple shared their story, saying that the hospital kept their son even after he had successfully weaned off breast milk. Officials say they put the couple's son in foster care in late March because of malnutrition. She insists she was never notified that her son was discharged, and she never heard from child welfare officials. All right. The problem is the doctor. The physician who oversees cases like this in the All Children's Hospital is Dr. Sally Smith. She's under investigation for being too quick to diagnose child abuse and is too critical of parents and caregivers. She's denied those claims. These are alleged claims. Now, um, if y'all didn't see, y'all saw they pulled him over on the side of the road, took her infant child from her because she home births, and a lot of people do that. Once you have a home birth, you take the baby in to get all the paperwork and everything. Once you do that, there's nothing wrong with home birth. A lot of us was born in the house, so I wasn't. I was born on a naval base. A lot of us was born in the house. Uh, the baby was 10 days old. Her daughter was 10 days old when they took her away. They did a traffic stop, and you could see them taking the baby from her because she had notified CPS. Well, herein lies the thing. The thing about it is that she got a lawyer. She's been working with a lawyer, and she said all communication and everything was to go through the lawyer. So, and here's the statement that the hospital left. Our first priority at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital is the safety and privacy of patients and their families. Therefore, we strictly follow privacy laws that limit the amount of information we can release regarding this case. But you have no problem saying you're going to legally notify CPS. Why didn't you do it the day that she brought the child in? See, here's where my problem comes in at. If the child was so malnourished that you had to take it, if the parents were being so disagreeable and not doing anything for the child's health that you had to take it, why didn't you do it the day that they brought the child into the hospital? Why did you wait? Because you didn't have to release the child to get the parents. Yeah, you have to go to the hospital, get the baby checked out, and get your birth certificate for the baby. Alerting the police, CPS, on the day that they bring the child in has nothing to do with the child's health care. You didn't have to release the child to tell on the parents. So if the child was in such dire straits when he was brought into the ER, why weren't the police and CPS called on that day? Why did they wait, not notify the parents, and give their son to CPS without their knowledge? I feel like that's wrong, and I feel like there should be laws and things against being able to do this. I feel like you should not be able to just take a child out of somebody's arms at a traffic stop like you are pulling somebody over for running a light. These are kids. These are human beings. This child was 10 days old. Do you know that this woman is still feeling the effects of being pregnant? And you take this baby out of her mama's arms on the side of the road to give her to the foster care system, which we know is overburdened. And most children, and I'm saying most, and I mean most. When I mean most, I mean 75 to 80%. These kids are not in good places. Not in good places, y'all. Why weren't any of the relatives notified? Hey, CPS, we need to take the kids for an investigation. Can you take them? Can you take them? Who doesn't do that? You go to foster care system when there's no family around, when there's no family to source. Right. I mean, I'm again. Hey, Leilani, I am not a doctor. I am not a lawyer. I am a parent. but I am well read. Let me say that. We used to joke all the time about when I had Nick, and he would be doing boy stuff, jumping out shit, busting his head, hurting himself. Not busting his head, but scratching up, scarring up, all that stuff. And we were sitting up there laughing and joking because the kids were jumping off stuff. And I said, don't break nothing because you ain't going to the ER because it'd be took you away. It's that day, that time, right then. Leilani would know too, because Leilani is a healthcare worker. But I know that when there is evidence of child abuse, when a doctor feels as though there is something going on, they call them that day. When they brought the baby in, CPS would have met them when they brought the baby in if this was done correctly. The baby couldn't get worse at the hospital because then it's the hospital's fault. If the hospital made the baby worse, hey, Violet, if the hospital, then it's the hospital. You see what I'm saying? This is not making sense to me. Hey, Steve. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not making sense to me. CPS and the children and the police were not called that day, but some kind of way the baby didn't make it home. Her son didn't make it home. And now you're taking her daughter because of paperwork, because you say that she did not notify CPS that she had the child. At this point, she's not talking to anybody. At this point, the lawyers are handling everything. Because now you have to, since the child is, do you understand how hard it is to get children out of the system? How hard it is to get children out of the foster care system. There are so many stories of children not having anyone. And this child had grandparents and aunts and uncles. These children had places within the family that they could go to. What is going on, guys? What is going on? I don't get it. I don't understand. These beautiful little babies are taken from their parents. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. She has to go to court and what is going on? Why is this happening? This child is on here crying. She's on every different. This is TMZ because that article didn't really give information. I'm just trying to find information. Right. They have no criminal record. There were no other cases of abuse. There's nothing else going on. All of a sudden, because the mother did her due diligence when the child was not taking nutrients properly, she took the child to the hospital and the hospital took her. Come on. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words because I can't imagine if somebody had came in, if I'd have came to pick up my baby, or I got a call saying that Nick is in CPS because this, and the third. And I'm pregnant? Come on. This topic has my mind all over the place because on some hand, people are saying it's a racism thing because she was black. On one hand, hold on. Once the child is gone, it's impossible to get them back. Not to mention you got to get a lawyer, a good one, right? So she did a GoFundMe page for $200,000 to pay for a lawyer. Right now, at this point, I think it's $367,000 to $397,000. So she's gotten the money from her GoFundMe page to pay for a good lawyer. And I think Ben Crump, I ain't got nothing to say. I just go. But he is a lawyer people would know the name of. It's hard. It's like, is it a racial thing? But why would you want to keep putting little black babies in the system? I don't understand how that helps out your racist agenda. Is it a children thing? But again, I don't understand because for each child that goes into the foster care system, you have to pay for each of those children. So where's that money coming from? Who is paying for these children that you're putting to the foster care system? Because you just don't drop. Has lost in my community lost his. Why has he lost his kids so many times? That's a lot. This baby, this. They had no. Uh, there was no evidence that there was any child abuse. It's just the child was not taking nutrients. It was just not, and that's why she took him in there to get fluids and see what's going on. The hospital said that she denied that she said that the baby couldn't have a B12 shot to save his life. Does anybody know why B12? Because I don't, not y'all know I don't do medicine. I'm about to look up B12 and see why it would keep somebody. I don't understand. I don't, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, so the hospital said, have you ever seen the police choked the lady in the hospital? Yes, they tripping. But hold on, B12. So now the hospital said that the reason behind it was that she denied the shot. Stan birthday! Happy birthday! Everybody in the chat, put your hands together for Stan. Happy birthday, Stan. Woo! Woo! Happy birthday to Stan. Happy birthday to Stan. Happy birthday, Stan. Happy birthday to you. There you go. But he's white. That's the thing. That's why I'm saying I don't want to say that it's a racial thing. I don't understand why it's a kid thing. I don't get it. But the hospital is under the Johns Hopkins umbrella. It's not Johns Hopkins. It's the All Children's Hospital in Florida. But it's under the Johns Hopkins umbrella. So B12. It's just saying it. You can get vitamin B12 in animal foods which have it naturally, from foods that are fortified. Okay, that's what I was looking for. I didn't know what it is. B12 is a nutrient that helps keep your body's blood and nerve cells healthy, and it helps make DNA, the genetic cells. So I don't get it. Jeremiah, happy birthday. Jeremiah, your name too long to go in a song, but happy birthday to you. My head was itching. Sorry. My nose stopped up. What is going on? I don't think I feel good. That's wrong with me. All right. So the child in question, they said right here the recommended amount. So the child in question would have need 0.0. I think it's MCG. I don't know really what that means. It can be deadly for a child. But she said that they never offered a shot to her, and she didn't say that they couldn't give it to her. They said that was the reason they told her. That because she denied the child life-saving help. Now, I'm not 100% sure. But if she took the baby to the hospital, then clearly she has no problem with Western medicine. So why she would just not let them get a baby a shot is beyond me. Micrograms. Thank you. I don't. Again, y'all know how I am about the measure. Cool. Thank you. So yeah. Why would she, if she's gonna bring the child to the hospital because it is not taking fluids and nutrients from the food it's not eating, why would she deny the B12 side? You see what I'm saying? This doesn't make any sense to me. None of this makes any sense to me. But the doctor, they if you go back to the doctor, she is under investigation for come on in. Thank you for the thing. Y'all know your girl is not medicine thing. It's not your girl thing. So right. Oh, okay. Thank you, Hoods. Thank you. Now I see why they would say that. Because if you want to say that the child is being malnourished, yes, but if they're in holistic medicine, there are ways she could have went to the store and got some Pedialyte. This is a 13-month-old child. This was not an infant. This was a 13-month-old child. You could put some Pedialyte in a sippy cup. Kids think anything tastes sweet is good. Pedialyte is like, to me, Pedialyte is like, what's this stuff? Gatorade? Warm, hot, salty tears. That's what it is. But to kids, taste like juice. There are other ways you could have supplemented before taking them to the hospital. So if the child and if they're in a holistic, B12 is a vitamin. It wasn't a drug. It was a vitamin. So I'm not 100%. I'm not 100%. Gatorade is sweat and tears. That's all it is. Sweat and tears with what's that stuff? Sweet and low and a little seasoning. That's all it is. It's nasty. Nasty. I don't care what flavor you bring in here. Anyway, so I can understand her saying no. I don't want any foreign chemicals, medicines, but vitamins. You know what I'm saying? I don't see her denying a vitamin. Now, maybe not getting more into um actual medicine, but I don't see her saying, no, 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 don't give him a vitamin. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if vitamins are considered not used in holistic medicine, but I'm just saying. Um, I was gonna say something else too. Brain got stuck. But anyway, there are so many ways that this can go, but the reality is that the system and it gets you and it grinds you up and it spits you out and you're never whole again. Can you imagine what this young lady is feeling like? Her son is gone, and now 10 days after having her daughter, she is gone, and you are sit up here and you're left to wonder who is taking care of my children. Where are they? See, that's different. It wasn't that the baby had lost weight. She saw that the baby was not getting the nutrients and it was not taking anything. It just didn't want anything. She took it to the hospital to get fluids and to try to, see what's up. See if it's just because sometimes my niece didn't eat for 2 days. We would put food in her mouth and she would spit it out. She was not hungry for 2 days. I think she was two, I think. We would put food in her mouth, she would spit it out. She did not want anything to eat. She would drink sporadically. But then she was also a little chub, so a couple days not eating wasn't gonna bother her. She would drink sporadically. She just didn't want anything, and she would sporadically do that. Yes. It is Saisha Mercado. Hey Queen Diva. It is Saisha Mercado. I don't remember what season she was on of American Idol. I remember her name. Um, right, but see, Violet, you and I are older, and we don't eat the same things, and we don't take care of ourselves like somebody takes care of a child. Um, it's see that's the thing. We're getting stuck on the B12 shot, but they said that she denied it. She said that they never even asked her. So now I can understand why they would bring B12 into the mix, because B12 and her saying she denied it sounds like she doesn't want. It adds a little, it adds a little wrinkle to the sheets. Because here's the thing: if she had enough sense to take her baby to the hospital because she felt like it wasn't doing okay, then I'm almost positive she would have had enough sense to say, yes, you can have the shot, the B12 shot, the vitamin shot. Now, I'm not 100% positive, but I'm going to err on the side of being a mother. And like I said in my last fit show, as a parent, you do whatever the fuck it takes so that your child survive, thrive. Whatever it takes. If a hospital says your baby needs a B12 shot, then get a shot. Or the liquid, or however you get it, baby. I don't know how you give it to them. Right. But I don't think she should have lost the first baby. I could understand if the child had been in and out of the ER. I could understand if there was a history of abuse. I could understand if there was a history of neglect. But this was the first time, and you take her baby without her knowledge, and she's disputing facts that you're saying publicly to make the hospital and the doctors look okay, when you already know that the doctor who decided this situation is a doctor who's under investigation for the very same thing she just did, taking children from their parents. I don't understand that. I don't get that. Why, if you got perfectly good parents, why would you send them out to over to overcrowd a situation? This is an infant and a toddler, which means it's not going to a halfway, well, not a halfway house. It's not going to a group home. You have to find a family to put these children in. So now you're digging around and finding a family. So now you have to pay the government, we, us, whoever pays taxes has to pay, because now you have to pay this foster family for two children. Instead of doing your due diligence and seeing if maybe the baby just was sick. Let's fix it and see. Do you know how many children fall through the cracks? Every everybody's sitting up here talking about this, but let's look at all the children who were never taken from their parents, even though they should have been. The baby was in the hospital for 30. Why was in the hospital? See, that's what I don't know. I don't understand. So the baby was in the hospital for 30 days. Is this what she said, or is this what the hospital saying? See, there's a difference. All right. All right. All right. She said that her 10-year-old baby was legally kidnapped. Anyway. Okay, the couple said it happened when they brought their first child to a Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital for help because they were concerned about malnutrition after her breast milk started to dry up and their son wouldn't accept any other fluid. The Manatee Sheriff said, we concluded an investigation on March of 2021 after receiving information from the hospital. Said the child was suffering from severe malnutrition and failure to thrive. Ultimately, the child, by an order of a judge, was sheltered and treatment took place. They said the parents refused to cooperate and was no longer directly involved. Da 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 da. That's why they decided normally process more. Right. Additionally, so what day? Wait. Hold on. This, what day? Because they were told that they couldn't come back up to the hospital. Hold on. They were permanently barred from the hospital on March 11th. Hey, Valerie. They're taking the American Idol, taking the baby. Hold on. Hold on. I'm very confused. I don't know. They're not talking about that. I'm very confused. So they're in the holistic medicine. However, they're taking the children to doctors for checkups. So I'm very confused. It said the child is healthy, and it just had a doctor's checkup, and that should. I don't get it. I just want the facts. All this other stuff I don't really want. I just want the facts. I don't want all the other stuff. So they're not doing facts. All right. Again, I don't know the real facts of this case. All I know is that we have seen and we know that children are taken for several different reasons. We know that. However, here's the problem. I really think that there's an issue with this because the hospital is saying the child was severely malnourished and was not thriving. But why would you take the child? I can see what you're saying, Brooklyn. That's true. But why would you take if you're abusing your child and not feeding your child? I don't understand. Do you need when you're doing something wrong, which in this case would be abusing your child? Most people would treat that as a criminal act. No, not before, I don't think. Uh, okay, what I read was she asked them to wait for her husband to come to the hospital before they gave him a shot. They are vegan and only wanted the baby to have breast milk, but her milk was drying up. Lord, children, stop putting your shit on your kids. Your children need a variety of nutrients. I don't mind you being vegetarian and not eating meat, but there are certain things that you just can't get from vegetables. And if you are not going to, what the hell? Who said that? Who said that? Oh, still hate everybody. Right, but COVID, here's the thing, sweetie. The thing with COVID is a personal choice. If you don't want to take the shot, you don't want to take care of yourself, that's on you. A child abuse is a crime. And whether or not you are I don't give a shame how dumb you are, you know you commit a crime. If you're not feeding this child, Taisha Mercado, she was American Idol. She was on American Idol. I don't know how many. Her name is Saisha. So when you hit it, because it's a really topic that it'll come up. Um, Child abuse, malnutrition, neglect is a crime. You're not taking care of yourself, you're stupid. Because every anti-vaxxer, anti-maxer, anti-shotter will bring their sick ass and they sick ass kids to the hospital after they said they don't want a shot or this, and the third. So yeah, that's just you being dumb. But somebody committing an actual crime, which is child abuse. I don't see them committing the crime and then taking the baby to the place where the crime will be reported. I don't get that. Now, if it was a broken bone or something you couldn't set, I can understand your necessity to have to take the child to a hospital. But because the child is not accepting fluids, there are plenty of vegan things out there that you could have tried before you took your baby to the hospital. And how long has your child been doing this? See, that's my problem. I'm at a dual mind of this. I don't think you should take anybody's kids just to hell because. I don't. I really don't. However, if your child, it takes a minute before a child gets to the point to where they need fluids from a doctor. And if you knew your breast milk was drying up, then you should have started before weaning this child off of milk into something else. See, that's why I'm at a dual mind of this thing. I don't think that what the hospital did was correct if what they're saying is what the hospital did. I think the hospital might have jumped the gun. I think that the hospital, much like, I don't know why, but it's much like the whole prison for pay thing, like that judge was putting all those teenagers in the private detention centers because it was making money. Hold on. Yes, because they're finicky eaters. Yes, the kids that don't eat meat definitely need something. Yes, that's the thing. How long was your baby not getting any nutrients? And why did you wait so long? That being said, why didn't the hospital that's my problem. See, my problem with this is not the fact that you take children. The baby was accepting fluid. She wasn't making any and didn't want anything other than, oh. See, that's what I thought last night. See, it was blowing me. What was blowing me last night is I wanted to be indignant for this baby. I really did, because the way they took her second child. I wanted to be really pissed off and show out for this baby because of the way they took her second child. But what threw me was the fact that you had to take your baby to the hospital at 13 months old. Breast milk should not be their sole form of nutrition. Are they not eating fruits and vegetables? Even if you're vegan, are you not eating fruits and vegetables? Are you not eating a little tofu? Are you to get some protein? Are you not finding? Hold on, y'all. I mean, not hold on. We're gonna keep talking. Are there not any other methods? Any? Okay, hold on. Let me. What was it? What was it, y'all? B12. 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 Okay, B12. Uh, Hold on. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to find things that B12. So I guess you want me eating fish. So it is something that is found in. Hold on. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh. Everything that is a good dietary source of B12 is a meat product, including dairy products and eggs. But they say they have some nutritional yeast products, some types of soya milk. Okay. So, I mean, weren't there other things other than breast milk that you could have given her? I mean, I don't see. That's what I was mad about last night. I wanted to be very indignant for this baby. I really did. And I know that things like this happen. I know that people rush to judgment to take people's kids. I do know that. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Right, husband. What I'm saying is for broken bones and things like that, you have to take your child to the hospital because you can't set a broken leg or a broken arm. You can't do that. But things that are not outwardly seen until it is too bad, till it is a lot, is she has had other kids that weren't taken from her. No, they took her second baby. She got some more kids out. I don't know. I don't know how many kids she had. I don't know. Because they took her second child too. got two. I think she only has two. No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. Again, I don't know 100%. My thing was what was being reported, how it was being reported. But then I sat down last night and thought about it. Um, I don't understand. There are three older children. Are they hers or the guy's? Because the guy's not her husband. So they have five kids altogether. She has five kids. Are these two hers? And I don't understand. That's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering. Because if those kids got a different mama than her, they'd have a different outcome. Um, I don't know why they took all the kids. See, that's that. See, here's the thing. There's the quandary. There's the two minds right there. If there are five kids in total and they've only taken the last two, all the kids are normally removed from the home. You can normally, when you're in that situation, you can normally be in you can only parent any of them. They normally come scoop them all. They don't just get two or three of them, because if you're abusing one, you're probably abusing all of them. Or the children are in a situation where they're seeing their siblings being abused. So normally they take all of the kids. So see, that's where my fishy issues come in at, as far as that's concerned, the taking of the children. My fishy issues with them are, I get it, you have your way that you want to follow your life. Oh. He works for the foster care system, the husband or the boyfriend or whatever. The partner. She calls him a partner. That's not a husband. He works for the foster care system? Really? This, I don't know. Uh-huh. So, if he works for the foster care system, he should know what to do and what not to do. I'm so confused. They are not. See, that's the thing. That's why I don't like. See, that's why I don't like. I shouldn't have focused on her. I should have just used her as a thing. Another person that couldn't spend their time to get the formal education, but they think they know better. Oh. Oh, so some kids don't belong. See, that's what I was thinking, because the way she was talking was that was her first kid. She wasn't talking like she had other kids. I'm not talking about him, because uh, the way that they were portraying her, that she didn't have any other kids. All right, here we go. The medical exam must have pointed to something serious enough for them to take the children. The term failure to thrive is serious. Yes, if there are other minors, and they didn't take. See, that's what I'm saying. That there's my problem with the whole. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound funny. You can laugh if you want to. I had a friend, children taking the leg because she didn't give them his psych medication. Yeah. Here's the thing. You have religious reasons. You have cultural differences. You have traditions that you want to follow. I get all that. But if you see that the way you have done things before have not worked, then at some point you need to adjust. You need to adapt. And if you see that the way you're living and what you're doing is detrimental to the health of others, then you must adapt. You can understand. You see that the breast milk vegan thing is not working out for her, for this child, because see, therein lies the rub. How your body reacts to something is not necessarily how somebody else's body reacts to something. There could be a perfectly good vegan mom sitting right beside her who has breast milk flowing like the Nile River, and is robustly healthy. However, the way that you live your life does not necessarily mean that it is good for your children. You can see that your milk is drying up. You have fed this child and it's not taking any other supplements. You're not supplementing the vitamins and the nutrients that they need. I'm having an issue with the moms now, not the dad, because at the end of the day, I like it, but mamas are the ones that make sure the babies eat and get up most of the time. Two parent household, in a single parent household where the mother's a single parent, normally, unless the mom is the breadwinner and the dad staying at home dad, the mom is the one that caters to the day-to-day needs of the children. Yes, that's why the second was taken, because she did not inform CPS that the child had been born. However, hold on. Oh shit. Dunning-Kruger effect. I have not, but I do know Google. Ah, came right up. Ah, hey. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a type of psychological bias. A classic example of the Dunning-Kruger effect would be an amateur chess player overestimates their performance in an upcoming chess tournament compared to their competent counterparts. I got you. I got you. That's just like everybody. The Dunning Kruger effect is alive and it is large and in charge right now with COVID and everything going on. All these armchair doctors telling y'all that the shot is going to turn you into a magnet. So, yeah, I get that. I got it. I don't like to hear people talk hood. I ain't trying to be funny. That's why y'all don't see me on here. That's why y'all see me normally once or twice a week talking. I don't like to hear people talk, not even myself. So I'll read it. I'll look it up and go into more depth on it. Hear me when I say it. I said religious reasons. Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you some good stuff. Um, if that's the way they live, at the end of the day, right? I saw another YouTuber talking about it. I didn't know this was the same. Yes, she didn't inform CPS that she had given birth, but she told them that the lawyer was handling all the okay, y'all, for all that don't know, I'm a little better at the law thing than the medical thing. Once you have retained a lawyer in a certain situation with a certain, if you and me, I'm me, you, we got some stuff going on in the courts. We no longer speak. Our lawyers talk. Or if I'm me and you Walmart, my lawyer talks to Walmart. I don't talk to you no more. I don't talk to you anymore. So she was telling them that she even had the paperwork where it was going through her lawyer and not her. Right, Lisa. And at that point, she is a mother. It's not enough. That's why she took him to the hospital at the same time. Right. That's my thing. That's where the two minds come in. You had sense enough to take your baby to the hospital, but you don't have sense enough to adapt to the fact that your body cannot sustain your child under your current vegan lifestyle. Your body cannot sustain your child under your current vegan lifestyle. Let me say it again. Your body cannot maintain your child under your lifestyle. Veganism and all that stuff is a lifestyle. That's a choice you make. You choose not to eat eggs. You choose not to drink milk. You choose not to eat a hamburger. That's a lifestyle choice. That's not her religion. That's something she chose to do. She chose it. And even in religion, you chose that. Because even if you are baptized and born into a certain religion, at a certain point, you choose whether to stay or go. Yeah, that's what I said. She said she didn't refuse it. And then their video saying she didn't refuse it. And then some people saying what she did was she said she wanted to wait till her husband got there. DC know that if Nick in the hospital and he needs something to save his life, she ain't got to wait for me to come. So I don't understand that either. Right. That's the thing. There are places where you can have your baby and at some point take your baby down and get his birth certificate and everything done. But that's not America. This is where you live. You want to the choices we make have consequences. The choices we make have consequences. And when the choices we make have an adverse effect on the people that we love, at some point we have to adapt and change. I get it that you don't want certain things in your body, cool. But if you're going to do this, do your due diligence and know what you need to take care of your baby. Because it's one thing for you to decide to go vegan and go completely meat free, meat, protein, all that free. It is another thing for you to put that onto your children. You need to know how this would affect your child. You need to know how it would affect his growth. You need to know how it would affect his health before you did that. You have to adapt. Do you know there are women right now who are staunch vegetarian vegans before they get pregnant, and once they're pregnant, their body craves certain things, and they'll have a chicken strip? I'm like, I don't. But here's what else I don't understand. Well, no, I don't know if she's malnourished because again, like that's what I don't get. I'm just so I'm blown. It's like that's what I was saying last. That's what I was saying last night when DC was saying something about it. I'm like, I want to be on this baby's side because I don't want to see any children taken from their family. I want it to be a mistake. I want it to be that she overestimated herself and her child paid the price, but she was fixing it and was going to make it better. However, I just don't. Why you keep having babies? Why do you keep having these kids when you don't even know how to take care of yourself? Yes. Why do you keep having kids when you say that it's your right and this and the third? But why do you keep having children when you don't even have any idea how to take care of yourself properly? You don't know that children shift and change your entire world. They do. We were I'm sorry. If I was vegan or vegetarian and my lifestyle was harmful to my son, I would eat a cheeseburger. I would shovel it down like it was the best vegetable plate in the world. Because I know that right now I need to be able to take care of my child. And if I'm using my body to do that, then I need to have my body producing the nutrients and vitamins that my child needs. My choice can be changed. You can change and evolve. Don't get stuck. This is what I told. Let me tell you what I told DC yesterday. On that she a couple didn't believe in immunizations for religious reasons. The child couldn't go to school without it, so the couple lied. Now I'm not fluent on the Bible by any means. By any means, I'm not fluent on the Bible. Um, However, I don't remember the Bible saying that you shouldn't have medicine anywhere. So if somebody can find the passages where religious tenets, now there are certain religions, like I know that in Jehovah's Witness, there's certain things that they don't allow. I know blood thing, like transfusions are one of them. So I know there's certain things because of, now I can understand not wanting to get a blood transfusion in certain things. I don't know. That's what I don't know. See, here's the thing. Now that I thought about it, because at first I was pissed off that they took her baby, but then last night I had an epiphany. Your child was 13 months old. Your child should not have just been existing on your breast milk alone. So why was it getting nutrients and hydration from other things? So that's what I did last night. Last night I did that. Then I was like, I understand you want to be more natural and holistic and spiritual. However, who the hell want to go back to the days when you had to go outside to pee? Who the hell want to go back to the days when you had to light a fire to get some light in the house? Nobody want to do that. Every era progresses and we move with that progression. Why the hell would you want to go back to when? Do you know how many people back then would be like, oh, yeah, child was 13 months old. I can't imagine that if somebody from 1872 had the opportunity to have indoor plumbing and electricity, they would say, oh no, I want to shit outside and sleep and eating the dog. I can't imagine anybody back in the day would say, no, 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 I don't want the air conditioning. I'm going to just let the windows up. There is a certain time progresses, things progress, technology, everything. But we also have to progress with it. Hell, that's right, H. I don't even want to go back to rotary phones. She took the baby to the hospital but the child, hold on, was successfully weaned while at the hospital is healthy. They, oh, well, why she had to wait till the husband comes? The child has been in the hospital all this time. Get a baby shot. Do whatever you got to do to get your baby home. Do whatever you got to do to get your baby fluffy and healthy. Do whatever you got to do. Why you got to wait for him? Yep. Pot liquor, surely. Some greens, some peas, smushed all together. That's what we grew up eating. Soft scrambled eggs, cream of wheat. We didn't grow up eating a whole hell of a lot of meat. You know what I'm saying? Fried, that was a dinner time. But breakfast, you eating cereal and oatmeal and cream of wheat and drinking milk and juice and eating fruits. Where were the fruits at? Where were the vegetables? Where were the non-animal proteins at? That's why I was so indignant at her taking her baby that I didn't dawn on me that I was thinking that cause that is why they took the baby, because they were like, after all of this she still, oh yeah, well, yeah, I can understand that. See, that's the thing. See, that's what got me last night. I was so ready to be on her side. Peanut butter. I was so ready to be on her side about why they took her baby. And then it dawned on me that was a toddler who shouldn't have been just on your boobs. There should have been other things in this child's diet than you. No. I used to love about, no, all jokes aside, I used to love about baby food. I don't know why. I'll just be sitting up there getting Nick all these little things. Didn't they want this shit? Taste like dog food? No, it smelled like dog food. But he was a baby, but I still, Nick ate scrambled eggs, grits, mashed potatoes, whatever. My grandmother, now this is the South, and let's go with it. My grandmother would cook chicken, and she would say, get that baby a chicken bone when they don't have teeth. When they're teething, they can scratch their gums to the life of them, and they can get all the flavor they want. I was like, a chicken bone. She said, yeah. She said, give baby chicken bone. Chew on it. You scratch their gums. It's not a chemical. And I was like, okay. Before Nick got teeth, he was tearing up them chicken bones. I would take food and smush it up to where it was a paste. Give it to him, put him on his tongue, so he would want to eat something. So he would know we're transitioning from just the milk and the liquids to the solids. I got him eating solids so that he could, But see, now that's what I said. Like I said, I wanted to be with her, and I had and something in me. That's why I hadn't came on. And then baby was saying something last night, and then I was like, okay. But then I thought about it. I said, this is a toddler, and the only thing you're feeding your toddler is breast milk. I did not know. Now I knew they looked a little natural, but I didn't know they were vegan. Now I know a lot of vegetarians, but there are other proteins you can get. Baby's chewing on chicken bones, frozen. Yep. Go out there and buy all that stuff, and your baby will chew on your finger. Just sit up there be gnawing on your finger. So now, see, that's why I wasn't rushing, because my brain was telling me, and there's something a little iffy about this. What you choose to do to yourself when you are taking care of no one but yourself is on you. When you become a parent, when you are now a person who is cooking a life, you are making a life in your body, in your womb. That is just not a fat stomach. That's just not a beer gut. That is a baby. You have to do what is right for the child, not what is your lifestyle choice. But still, I have issue with how the hospital went about it. That's why I'm in two minds on this. I have issue with you enforcing your lifestyle choices on your children before they have the capacity to handle it. And will cry, be hot fire mad if you try to take the baby bone. Will run. They couldn't. They couldn't break it. You know. Yeah, like a little puppy. That ain't trying to be funny. Like a little puppy just walking around with a bone in their mouth. Just as happy. Think they eat some chicken. They ain't doing nothing. Getting some juice. But that's what you do. You adapt. If you see that you are not you personally are not able to keep your child healthy, then you do whatever it takes for your child to be healthy. If that includes eating a peanut butter sandwich, eat it. If that includes eating a piece of fish or shrimp, eat it. If your body can barely sustain you, how do you think that your body can sustain your child? Yep. If your body can barely sustain you, because when you don't, they feel like they look healthy, but not necessarily. And in the rush to be thin and beautiful and natural and ethereal, you're not healthy. Skinny don't mean healthy. Healthy is shiny hair, skin, and it's just not about the size of your body. If you are not able to sustain your child yourself, you find a way to do so outside of yourself, and you do it happily. Now, this is not off topic, but a little different. There was a lady in somewhere, I don't know where she was, but she hyperlactated. She had breast milk long after her child had stopped drinking breast milk. She had freezers full of it, and she had frozen it and put it in a little, and she started giving it away to places. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if I would take somebody else's breast milk, but the reality is that if it's If you're not doing drugs and anything like that, right? You change it. You adapt. Right. It's like all them. Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's. See, that's my problem. What? No, you can't. Realistically, children don't need water first few months of their life. Doctors tell you, they have to give it to them because they're constantly intaking fluids. So, you don't want to give them a lot of sugary juice as growing up. Um, but no, they can't just live off water, baby. They need some more. They need some more than just milk. Your body changes. It changes. So that was my thing. That was my thing. I had to get that out. I had to get that out. Yeah, water is just water. Water hydrates you, but it doesn't have any nutritional values. It has value, but not nutritional values because it doesn't have anything. It's just water. Uh, you can add stuff to water to make it nutritional, but just water is just water. Um, yeah, it'd be full, but they pee it all out in 15.2 seconds and it's just water. Maybe I'm wrong, but if my house is on fire and I'm not running out to tell the fire and my kids are in there, you'd be pulling my dead ass out and say they died. Right. That's the thing. That there like that's it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what you feel. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what your lifestyle choice is. Because there are certain things that are lifestyle choice. And what you eat is your choice. Now, you can follow the tenets of a religion or a tradition, but at the end of the day, regardless of what religion you are and what traditions you follow and what culture you from, what you put in your mouth is your choice. And if your body tells you what you need, and if you choose to ignore it, then you have to pay the consequences for that action. At the end of the day, there's no sure statement ever said in the entire history of life is there are consequences to your actions. There are consequences to your inaction. I have issue with how the hospital went about what they did. They shady. What the hospital is doing is shady. Trust me when I tell you. Because they took the baby in, the night they took the baby in, CPS, there are people on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at CPS. And if the child was not evaluated as soon as it got there, was the baby not evaluated when it got there? Was it a couple of days before you evaluated the situation? Somebody should have showed up that night. We have had people that night. Child come in with a broken leg. The doctor feels like it is an abuse situation. They call CPS and the police right then and there while you sitting there waiting with your baby. So I have issue with how the hospital is working shit. I have issue with how they're working the hospital side. But there's nothing we can do about this government machine that will chew us up and spit us out. We have to learn how to work within the system. And sometimes you can't. However, the child should never have got as far as the hospital because it was a decision that you made that put you in the direct line of fire of whatever that hospital got going on, whatever the doctor has going on. Yes, she did. So she had a home birth, and from what I understand, the lawyer was supposed to contact. I guess the lawyer was handling everything that had to do with CPS, the hospital, and everything. After all that, so she was telling them that, and they were saying we ain't got the paperwork for that, so we gonna take your baby. So true that. So I'm all I'm saying is this: It is not if you see that the choices you make and the actions and the inactions that you take are adversely affecting the child that you had, you have to then change what you're doing. If you got to be uncomfortable for your baby to thrive, then be uncomfortable. If you have to go against some kind of choice, lifestyle choice that you have come to love, then you go against because your lifestyle choice is adversely affecting the life that you chose to bring into the world. And if you are not willing, and here is at the end of the day, if you are not willing to change and adapt, if you know that you are the kind of person who is not going to change and adapt, do not have kids. Period. Because at the end of the day, your action and inaction has consequences. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every inaction, there's nothing. And there are consequences for both. See you later. Thank you so much for helping me out. Brooklyn stays. Yes. Thank you. You understand what I'm saying? If you know that you are rigid in your traditions and these things, if you know that, do not have kids. Because your inability to adapt for your child's well-being, they don't have to be here. No, what I'm saying is, hold on. Pia, what I'm saying is this. Um, now, all that could have been diagnosed that day. The failure to thrive happened before the child got there. That was a diagnosis in and of itself. Failure to thrive and malnutrition was a diagnosis from the triage. That is why they were doing what they were doing. Like I'm saying, why wasn't someone called that day? Because you saw that the child would thrive if it had something because they did the thing. However, the malnutrition, the failure to thrive, you would have to wait because they would have to take a little time to see if the child would thrive if they had the proper nutrition. So yes, with the failure to thrive. However, with the malnutrition, the child came into the hospital malnourished. I can understand with the failure to thrive, but the child came into the hospital malnourished. So they say. So if the child came into the hospital malnourished, they didn't get more malnourished while they were in the hospital because then they were thriving, so they were no longer malnourished. You understand what I'm saying? See, the failure to thrive takes a little time. The malnutrition does not. So if they thought that malnutrition was something that the child was having, then that day CPS and the police should have been called. The failure to thrive was something added on after the child started to thrive. The malnutrition was the beginning. Failure to thrive was the end. But either way, if you suspected there was some child abuse, you don't wait. You call them in. You talk to the parents. They didn't talk to the parents. Do you hear what I'm saying? They talked to the parents. They still did not talk to the parents. Regardless, he didn't talk to the parents. And legally, everywhere is different. Legally, what you call for and why everywhere is different. But either way, before the child was taken by CPS, they did not talk to the parents. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of when they did it. The parents were not informed until the child was taken. Or so they say. Let's get all this clear. Let's get all this clear. This is only, we're hearing her side of the story and the hospital side of the story. At the end of the day, the only people that know are the people who were actually in the room at the time. What I'm saying is this: there were things done at the initial, when the child was first brought to the hospital, that if you had an issue with abuse, it happened then. The fact that the child was malnourished, the fact that the mother denied the B12 shot, these things happened then. So then you call CPS. I have a mother here who is denying life saving nutrients to the child. I have a child that was brought into the hospital malnourished. That happens immediately. That does not happen 3, 4 weeks later. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about whether or not the hospital, I'm saying the way the hospital went about it was wrong. Whether or not the hospital was wrong has to be later determined. Because, like I said, well, none of us there. We don't know whether this girl lied. We don't know whether the hospital trying to cover their ass. See, there's the problem. There are so many variables to the situation that there is no, this is just a debate. This is just opinions and people who were not there. I was not there. I was not there. So we don't know for certain who is telling the truth. We don't know where the truth lies in either one of the stories. But what I'm saying is this: why didn't anyone talk to the parents before the child was taken? That's my issue with the hospital. That's all I'm saying. The hospital reported it. CPS took the kids. My issue is really with CPS, not with the hospital. That's the hospital's job. That is a part of their mandate. They are required to report what they think are instances of child abuse or abuse. So that's hospital job. That's just like us fussing at the person on the phone we call. Their job is to take your. They didn't do what happened. The hospital did not take the child. The hospital reported what they thought was abuse. That is part of their job. CPS did not talk to the parents before they took the child. They did not assess the situation. They did not go have an investigation. They took the child and put it in the system. The child has been in the system 6 months. Then they took the other baby. My issue is with how CPS, maybe I'm saying it wrong, how CPS is working, not how the hospital is working. It is your, if you can't fault nobody for doing their job. I can't fault a doctor for thinking that I did this and I did that. It's his job. Don't not do your job because how you feel about me. If you think I'm abusing my child, do what you got to do. It is how CPS is handling the situation. It is how CPS is handling the information. It is how CPS is handling these kids and this lady. My issue with the mama is that this: if you can't adapt your lifestyle so that your child can thrive, then I'm not 100% certain that CPS is incorrect. I'm just saying how they're going about it is incorrect. And if you allow a system to go about things incorrectly, they will do everything incorrectly. You understand what I'm saying? I'm railing at the CPS system because of how many children are. And here's the thing: if you can go statistically and look back at how many children get into the foster care system, and the foster and the CPS is overburdened and overworked, and these kids are not being checked on, how many children are lost in the system, how many parents never see their children again, how many siblings are separated. It is not, the system is not well managed across the board. They'll take her baby but send a crack baby home. They'll take her baby but send this little boy who came in the hospital 5 times this in the past year with a broken arm, leg, or whatever because he plays sports. The system is not well managed. CPS is sort of like when the government or when people try to say, CPS is sort of like when we have how we do stuff, so we want you to do it this way, even if how we're doing it, it's not right. We don't like the way you do it. It's like when you see, it's like when you see a a people. It's like there was these native people in the Amazon, and there was this young man on his phone doing his TikTok, YouTube, whatever thing, saying how we should really go investigate. They need Christianity and Western medicine. No, what you gonna do is carry your ass into the Amazon and get your head shrunk. That's what you're gonna do. Leave the people alone. They don't need your medicine, and we don't need theirs. If they want something, they'll ask for it. See, that's what CPS is like. You're correct. That's what CPS is like. This is how we think we should act. And we don't like the way you act, so we're going to take your kids. But we're not putting your kids, how many? Think about it. Think about it. Really, realistically think about it. For some kids, the foster care system is a beautiful place to be because their home life and the situation for their actual biological family is atrocious. But that is few and far between. I don't like the way CPS is handling this situation with this girl. Now, regardless of whether or not they're right, if you don't call into question how they do things, right, Violet. If you don't call into question how they do things, regardless of whether or not they're right, they're going to continue to do it and it will get worse. And then people will be scared to take their kids to the hospital because their baby fell off their bike or because their baby does play sports. And this year they broke their leg, and next year they break their arm because they play football. Or because they rough and like to jump off stuff. The system needs to be checked because it doesn't, I don't like the way CPS did it. However, I'm not 100% certain they should not have done it. However, CPS case those more than double of what they should be instead. Yeah. I watched a couple burn through 700,000 in 2 years. Yeah. Right. My thing is, why didn't CPS contact family? You wouldn't have had to pay anything. And it would have been with the family. Maybe they do that because they don't want the parents to have access to the kids. But you can make it so, hey, I don't want your kids. Because me as a mom, if my child's child had to be placed somewhere, I would go get my baby. And I'd be like, no, we're going to do what they say so you can get these babies out of my house. But putting a child in a foster care situation, especially when it's a foster care for pay situation, when these people are just not taking these kids out of the kindness of their heart, when they're getting a paycheck for each child that comes in their house, sets a bad precedent. And we don't want to keep doing that. I was only going to be on here a short time, but we have talked this whole thing up. And I appreciate all, like I said, these are my opinions. That's why I said investigate. They didn't speak. Pia, again, like I said, some people need to be all the way away from their family line. But if you don't investigate and do your due diligence, my issue with CPS is the due diligence. Instead of just slapping them into the system, see what kind of lifestyle the grandmama has. See what kind of lifestyle the sister has. Because just because how I live is not how my grandmama lived. See what I'm saying? Check and see. And if it's not a good place to send them, then do your thing. But there's a certain amount of due diligence. This is not a puppy. The ASPCA has a stronger process to see you adopting a dog. It's not a puppy. This is a child that you have snatched away from their parents, from their family, at a very impressionable age, when the bonding process is at its best. Do your due diligence before you take the child from the family that they have to somebody they don't know. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that children should not be taken out of the situation. I'm saying that if you had time enough to do all that in the hospital, the first child was in the hospital for a long time. If you have time enough if you have time enough to take the babies away without talking to the parents, and you had time enough to just go talk to the grandparents, do a house check, talk to the auntie or the cousin or somebody in the family, instead of overburdening the system and putting the child into a system where it is very hard for the child to get out of. That's all I'm saying. Properly investigate. Don't just move these kids around like they pieces on a chessboard or checkers. Don't just move these babies like you sit in the rescues, like I said, like puppies. These is people. These is somebody's babies. And I'm just talking, not just talking about her. Now I'm talking about across the board. Grandparents begging to see their grandbabies. Sisters and siblings being separated from each other. Like I said, my issue is not with the hospital. The hospital has issues, I'm sure. But at this particular moment, if this is what you're saying that the baby had, with me having no evidence to the contrary, I have to go with you in what you did. My issues with how CPS handled the situation and how the mama handled the baby. The hospital is irrelevant to me. If you can't adapt to take care of your child, get a fish. If you just want to raise something, have a fish or a gerbil. Something you can flush down the toilet when you kill it. Okay? Don't bring babies into this world and think you can roll up a couple of pieces of kale and the baby gonna be okay. Don't have kids when your lifestyle is more important than your children thriving. Having kids is a choice. The only things that you can't change, only things that you don't have a choice in, are the things you cannot change. Anything else that you can change, then you have a choice. If you saw what you were doing was unhealthy to your child, find out what you need to do to change that. And don't wait until you have to take your child to the hospital. That is all I got to say. I hate that the baby had to lose her kids, her babies, especially 10 days old. Like I said, I don't know what I would have done if I did not come home with my baby. I don't know what I would have done if I took him to the hospital and I didn't leave with him. I can't even imagine. I can't fathom that. It is incalculable. But, not but, so I understand where she's coming from with that feeling of emptiness and loss, and that you have ripped my 10-day-old baby out of my arms, because that's what it did. But you have to figure out in yourself, baby, why you got this ball rolling by taking the baby to the hospital in the state that it was in. You got to figure out what you got to do for it never to happen again. That's all I'm saying. Regardless of the outcome, you started the ball rolling. And if you can't adapt and change so that your baby can thrive, that being said, just snatching kids from their parents don't help the kids. You're not helping the children. You're putting them into a system where they're surrounded by strangers, hoping that it's a better place for them. When clearly y'all not good in investigating. Because you didn't investigate whether there was some other way you could do something with these kids. And this is not the first time. It's really not the first time it's happened. CPS has always had issues in how it does things. There's always been issues in that in the foster care system. And that's something that the government and I don't know how we can change it. But we got to start making a stink. That's why I'm saying something. My issue is not with the hospital. The hospital was doing its job. My issue is with how CPS handled it. And I don't know how you can change it. I don't know. I hope that they get their kids back. I really do. Because I see no reason for children to be separated from their parents once you give the person a chance to change what they're doing. Now, if the people don't change what they're doing, then that's kind of not, that's that. After that, once the ball is back in your court and you decide to throw the ball away, that's on you. But I hate for anybody to be without their child. I really do. Nick hurt himself yesterday going to work, and I almost wanted to wrap him up in bubble wrap and get him a Uber thing. Get him a, what's the thing called? Is it Uber? Lyft, whatever. You got to do what you got to do, people. At the end of the day, there's wrong on both sides. Got to figure out how to fix both sides. Your lifestyle choices cannot be more important than your children. Ever. Especially when it comes to their health and their growth. Especially when it comes to that. On the flip side, we cannot continuously allow the system to just eat up people and spit them out. We cannot allow the system to have that much power over somebody's child. There need to be checks and balances, and they need to be constantly checked and balanced. So it's almost 2 hours, and your girl is about to go. Because I got a salad that I got when I started this live, and it is still in the bag as we speak. Haven't eaten anything today. But I had to just get this off my chest. And my wife told me to do a live today. So guess what? I was being a good girl today. I want to thank everybody for coming into the live stream. I want to thank all my moderators, Asia, Leilani. I think there's somebody else in here too. I want to thank Violet. Happy birthday, Stan. I love you. No, I do, boo-boo. I want to thank Pia because you had me on my toes, and I like that. I like that. Hoods, you my dog. Brooklyn, thank you because you was helping me out when I couldn't think. And to everybody who came in today, to everybody who hit this live, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is just a live. It was supposed to be quick, but turned in almost 2 hours. Who knew? So if you are seeing this in the replay, thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that like button for me. In the comments down below, comment. I don't care what you say. Truthfully. Bad or good. The trolls, we're going to delete you. Everybody else, we're going to love you. So share this video just because why not? If you see this video in your what's next or for you or whatever it's called, and you click it and you like it, subscribe. And hit that notification bell so that every time we drop a video or go live, you guys can join us. I want to thank the Mom Squad. You are the best squad in the whole of the YouTube universe. Thank you so much. We love you guys. This your girl Lisa. This is hey y'all. And I'm out. Peace.